Hey, 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 everybody. What I want to talk about tonight is something that I think is just beneficial for absolutely every single one of us to understand. And it is really understanding the difference between fault and responsibility and not linking the two. Maintaining power in our lives is going to be directly linked to how we deal with the concept of fault and the concept of responsibility, and whether we're linking those two together or not. A lot of times when I talk about responsibility, and I have this perspective on responsibility that's so different that people a lot of times they don't really understand where I'm coming from, and they feel like I blame the victim in whatever situation. And the only reason they think that is because they don't understand what I'm going to talk about in this video tonight. And that is this concept that, here's the thing, okay? Fault and responsibility are two different things. And you guys have probably heard me say this before, because I have a saying: where responsibility goes, power flows. So we have to know that wherever we place the responsibility, that is where we're placing our power. So this is why I tell people to retain responsibility. Never give away responsibility to anyone else. But people automatically think that that means that I'm saying don't give fault to anyone else. And they think that if you maintain the responsibility, you maintain the fault. No. It can be someone else's fault, but your responsibility. And what I mean by that is, if what happened was someone else's fault, but it's your responsibility to fix it or deal with it or heal from it, it doesn't matter that it was their fault. And it's best to separate the two, because here's the thing: if you make it their fault and their responsibility, you're powerless in the situation. So the responsibility part, you never want to hand off, because wherever responsibility goes, power flows. So let's give an example. Say, for instance, a person was raped, okay? And it's not their fault that they were raped, but it's their responsibility to deal with that rape afterwards. So say, for instance, I'm a victim of rape. Okay, and then I'm blaming my rapist, and I'm saying it's their fault. Okay, which is right, it's their fault. But then I'm making it their responsibility to somehow help me heal. There's something I need them to do. There's some responsibility for my life, my condition, how I feel, and what's happening to me. I'm putting that responsibility on them. Well, here's how I'm giving them my power also. Okay, because guess what? What if they choose not to honor that responsibility that I'm placing on them? Well, now I'm at their mercy, and I'm waiting on that. And then whatever I'm waiting for from them is held up until they do it. So if I can't heal until they take responsibility for raping me, then guess what? The healing is in their hands. They hold the power over my healing and what happens with me, because I have to wait until they do or don't do something. So I have no power. I'm at their mercy. See, I don't believe in that. And so that's why no matter what the situation is, when someone is a victim of something, I don't do victim mentality. Because yes, fault can be someone else's, but I don't put a lot of weight on the fault. The reason being is because it's just not beneficial to whoever the person is or whatever the situation is. It's not beneficial to the one who has to overcome, heal, or whatever from what happened. It's not going to be beneficial to them. They're going to be giving all their power away by focusing on the fault. So I teach to focus on the responsibility, because that's where your power is. So say, for instance, that rapist, I blame them, I give them the fault, but then I don't give them the responsibility. So I say, this person was at fault. What they did was wrong. I acknowledge that. I blame them. I put the fault on them where it belongs. Okay. But then I say, but that's it. It's not their responsibility to do anything after that. Whatever they do, that's on them. It's not their responsibility to help me heal. It's not their responsibility to acknowledge what they've done. And the reason I want it to be that way is because I don't want to give them that power. So now, since it's not their responsibility, guess who's in control? Guess who has the power over their own healing, their own progress? I do, because then I can say, you know what? I get to choose my own healing. I get to decide to move past this. I don't have to give them any power. I don't need to wait on them to do anything. I don't need anything from them because I didn't give them the responsibility. So now they have no power. So that's the way, that is the attitude that we should come from with whatever happens in life. So this is also the reason why when people talk about, because there's a lot of talk about the narcissists and empaths, and then the empaths feel such a certain way about narcissists. And I say, okay, you can say it's somebody else's fault, but it's your responsibility. So then with that, when I put the responsibility on the empaths, then people are like, oh, you're blaming the victim. I don't believe in victims. I believe in experiences and that things happen to us and that sometimes it's someone else's fault. But being a victim is like, I just don't like that whole concept. And it's not that I don't like it, because I don't like or dislike anything. It's more so that it just doesn't serve the person who's being the victim. It doesn't serve them to be the victim. So I've gone through this, this debate with people where people will have this perspective of me blaming the victim in multiple situations where I will put the responsibility on the person who experienced, the person who's having the trouble, the person who's having the pain, the person who's having the problem. That is the person who needs to maintain the responsibility the most. You know why? Because they need the power to overcome their situation. They need the power to be able to be triumphant over whatever the obstacle is that they're trying to, get over. So they're the last one. The victim is the last one who needs to be putting responsibility elsewhere. Like, you need all the responsibility if you're going to have the power to overcome your situation or circumstance or to heal from whatever trauma was inflicted upon you. Okay, so it's just always better to hold on to responsibility and never give it away. Okay, so if you guys are having certain traumas that you're trying to heal from, that you're trying to take responsibility for, you can always, I can always help you with things like that in the soul healing sessions or coaching sessions. I highly recommend them. They're really good for if you're trying to see what's going on with you, what your next thing is, why are you stuck, what is it that you're not seeing. So one thing about our evolution, it's always easier, right? We can see other people so clear. We can see where they're tripped up. It's so much harder for us to see ourselves. And that's one of the things that these services offer you, is the ability to get that view and see what's in your way. Like, what am I missing? That's what that service is there for. And it's tailored to what you can handle. So don't think I'm going to come into one of those sessions and I'm just going to be really harsh. And no. It's about what you're wanting. Now, say for instance, you can only do one session with me and you're one of those people who's like, just give it to me. I just want to know whatever I can. I'm going to then, I'll give you as much as I can give you, as much as I can see, and just, make it as beneficial for you as possible, where you get as much as you can handle. But if you don't want that, it's all based on you. I'm not there to injure you. Okay, so I'm not going to injure you. Any pain that you feel is just going to be the light that shines into the darker places or the shadow spots. But that's temporary. The relief and the benefit of that is so much greater. So it's like, going somewhere with a splinter. Okay, it might hurt for a second. I got to pull the splinter out. But it's a relief, because these things are getting in your way. These things that are shadows, or different things that we're not able to see, healing that needs to occur within us, it gets in our way. So it's beneficial ultimately, but it's not a terrible process like some people think, because I'm kind of a direct type of person, and people don't know how those sessions will really go with me. Some of you that have done them, comment, and let people know how it is working with me, for those of you who've already worked with me, but it's not gonna be, I can feel, I'm very, very I connect with people very well. So I'm going to be able to sense where you are and what you need. And I work with you based on that. It's individual. I don't have a set way that I work with every single person. Immediately at the sound of your voice, I will know, I can sense where you are. So if you need more gentleness, but it's about what your soul really needs. It's not going to be what your ego really needs. But I can sense that right away, because first of all, any of you that do come to me to work with me, you're guided to do so. Okay. It's a divine situation. You're not getting that nudge, and you're not taking that step for no reason. We're meant to work together. So we already have, even before the time comes that we work together, it's already been planned out. So when you show up, there's already a resonance between the two of us, or you wouldn't even be here. So it's a very comfortable thing, as much as, and what I mean by comfortable, it's not comfortable in that you're gonna just hear whatever you want to hear. I wouldn't love you if I did that. Okay. But you will get what you need, put it that way. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So the link is in the description box below. And remember, guys, share the videos, help others to get the information, because this information really does help people. There's a lot of people that have been helped tremendously by the information. So share it. Okay. I love you guys so much. Talk to you later. Bye.